Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be week 2 of our garden tour, and I wasn't quite sure if I was going to do a weekly update, but then as I went back and edited the other one, I'm like, oh, I guess things have kind of changed. So I'm going to try and shorten it, and I'm going to be doing them weekly. So that's just the plan. Let's go in the garden and see what's new. Okay, first I opened up this little low tunnel here, and it's doing really good in here. But before we go in there, these peas are flowering and they are so pretty. These are the blue pod peas from Baker Creek, and they're just the prettiest little flowers. Anyways, these were a few stragglers here. I think originally we had them planted all the way down, but then when we put this in, yeah, I don't know, we decided to take them out, and this is what's left. But they are flowering, and I'm so excited to have a fresh pea from the garden. Oh my goodness, look at this. I just spotted a slug. You have got to go, buddy. But by the slug, we have our 8 little lettuces that have grown since last week. They're doing really good. And then our 2 little cabbages, which have grown as well. And we got so much rain yesterday especially, that I haven't weeded or had a chance really to be out here, but it's just so much rain, so much rain. So radishes, these are the new little lettuces that were planted, and they're doing, like, that one's doing so good. And then the cilantro that I took some out, we have a big pot of cilantro out front. I took this one out, and I guess it's liking it under this root cover. The cabbages in here are doing well as well. This is the what is this? This is the Wild Rocket arugula from Baker Creek, and we've had quite a bit off of this. I'm not sure if it's about to go to seed. I hope not. But anyways, this little plant has been so good for us. These little lettuces over here, we took a couple leaves off of these the other day, but man, they're looking so pretty. These were just kind of a experiment to see if they would actually grow in here, and they're doing really good. So once we take this kale out, we've been eating it here and there, giving it to the chickens and bunny. Then I'll probably put more lettuce in here because it seems to really like it in here. Red zinnias from Baker Creek, and they're kind of like a burgundy color, and then the middle is like a lime green. I'm so excited for these to actually grow. I planted a ton of them. And then the hollyhock over here is, I just can't wait for it to flower, but it looks like it's so close. Come on, give me some flowers. All right, onto the garlic bed. I did actually pull out a garlic to see how far along it was, and it was starting to get the bulb, like the different cloves, it's starting to get different cloves. So it's close, and you can tell it's kind of dying off, but it is really close. So I think we're getting close on those. Down here I tried something new. You can see there's a bunch of well, it's actually pine shavings. These are pine shavings from when we first got our chickens, and I put it into the composter with a bunch of fruits and veggies that were already in there, already breaking down. And I mean, there's everything in here. So I'm hoping that this was just kind of a test to see, is the garlic dying because it's done, or is it dying because it doesn't have enough nutrients? Because I didn't do anything to this bed, and we grew pumpkins in here last year. So this is just kind of to see. And these were smaller down at this end, so I thought we'll see if we can get them a little bit bigger. So that's what I'm doing with those. I also put some of the compost on some of the onions, and I'll show you those as well. I think the onions are getting close to being done. I need to look to see how big they're supposed to get, but I'm pretty sure they were, they're a smaller onion variety, so that could be the reason why they're smaller. This little cucumber here has had some damage from slugs, but it's getting another leaf, and I think it might make it. So we're gonna let this little guy hopefully trellis up on this little trellis here, if it makes it or not. And I'm growing more cucumbers so I can add some more there. Okay, so these are the 2 rows of onions, and I went back and looked to see what exactly I'd planted. One of them was snowball onions, which I think are the ones on the left, and then the ones on the right, I believe, are Stuttgarter onions. So I'm not sure how big they're supposed to get, but I did pull one out the other day. It was completely laying over. Like this one here is, you know, it's starting to get exposed. I think they're supposed to do that. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're supposed to get kind of exposed like this. And I think when they're ready, they kind of tip over. And yeah, so we'll see. We did use one in salsa the other night, and I'll say it was quite delicious. So that was exciting. And now I don't think these are storing onions. I think we need to pick them and use them fresh, which, you know, there's not that many, and considering they're small, we'll be able to do that. So these are the ones down here that I added some compost to. We'll see if that makes any difference. Oh, and here you can see this one is trying to go to seed. So I'm just gonna clip this off because I want it to focus on growing the onion and not this. I believe you can eat this. Probably tastes like a green onion type thing, but we've cut up some of those and used them in our salsa. The peas here have been seat belted in. You can see I tied some yarn around there. Probably wasn't the best thing to use, but it's working fine. And they've outgrown the cattle panel now. So that's exciting. And the beans down at the bottom, these are the Red Swan bush beans from Baker Creek. They are starting to put off. Oh, look at that. We got a little ladybug. Oh, where did it go? I just saw it. Did it fall? There it is. Hey, little ladybug. Thank you. So they're starting to put off their flowers, so we should have little beans really soon. And the peas are also flowering, so we should have a ton of peas really soon. I'm so excited. The potatoes are doing great. I haven't noticed a whole lot of new growth per se, not a lot of height, but I haven't noticed any bugs on them. And I did add some compost down at the other end over here, again, to see if it would make any difference. So we'll see what that does. And this poor sunflower, I need to come and give this guy something to... We had a lot of wind. It's leaning over, so I need to come and tie that guy up. Alright, super exciting. Like I said last time, we planted corn. We got so much rain yesterday, and I was like, oh, the corn's not going to come up. It's just not going to. But guess what? The corn popped up. It has sprouted. So maybe it needed all that rain, but it's just little baby corns. The boys were very excited to see that. And the sunflowers in the corn patch are also, they're growing. They're doing really good. Okay, so we got the beans planted here. These are going to be a pole bean. I don't remember exactly what they were, but these are starting to pop up. You can see we planted them, I don't know, maybe 5 days ago, and they're popping up. So if we can keep the birds from eating them, they should be okay, I'm hoping. The pumpkin and squash patch, I guess we could call it, it has grown. I've noticed a lot of new growth, and like this spaghetti squash, it has grown a lot. It's starting to put off some little grabbers, and there's lots of new growth in here, so that's exciting. The that one has grown a lot. The leaves are a lot bigger. And this little Big Mac's pumpkin that was so teeny last week, it's still really teeny, but it has a new little leaf there. So these are doing really good. The rhubarb still doing amazing. I just noticed there's my gloves that I could not find earlier. I left them out here in the rain. Oh well, they're not leather, so that's fine. But our blueberries are doing great. I did add some coffee grounds to like this half of them down here, just to see, you know, if it made a difference. And they're still hanging in there. It's gonna be blueberries ripe, maybe, I don't know, a few weeks, a month. I don't know how long it really takes, but I'm excited. The herb medicinal garden, whatever you want to call it per se, is doing good. The yarrow hasn't really opened up yet, but it's grown in height, so that's cool. The borage is finally starting to take off after it got nibbled on the leaves. The dill in the middle, it kind of took a beating with that rain, but I think it's gonna come back now. And then the calendulas, those are doing really great, and the echinacea over there. The cut flower garden is doing great. We did add, or I'll say Jeremy added, this row of fencing, because the other day we saw a deer poke its head over and I was like, oh my goodness, if that gets into the garden, I will seriously cry. So that was the only section that was left, and in the winter, all this growth back here is bare, but in the summer, there's growth. So typically there's not deer back there, but there was a deer. So we fenced that in quickly. Okay, these flowers, I'll take you out front because some of them actually open, but these are the anemone. I bought an 80 package of bulbs from Costco, and they look like this. They look like really weird when they first start, and then all of a sudden these shoot up and they're this beautiful flower. These things are so pretty. This might be one of my new favorite flowers. So I'll take you out front. There's some that are actually open, but I have a whole little patch over here. They're going to be so pretty. I'm probably going to be cutting back these tulips soon. I know they don't look great, but I've heard that the leaves actually are still feeding the bulb, so I don't want to cut them and then risk not having flowers next year, because hopefully these will flower next year since they didn't flower this year. I think we got them in too late, and that's just kind of what happened. But the other flowers are doing good. I can kind of tell what they are now. So we have our little cosmos here. All right, and I think I showed this last week, but the hollyhocks are there. I know they're really close together, and that would probably not be a good place for those, but that's okay. There's a zinnia hiding under this one here, and these zinnias back here are getting big. They're doing so good. Those ones are doing really great. And these are morning glories. I'm not sure if I'll regret planting those or not. We'll see. And then these back here, these were sweet peas, and when I planted them, they didn't do great at all, but then now it's putting off all this new growth. They do have tentacles, so they need to kind of grab onto this thing here. We'll see if they decide to do that or not. Then we have another row of cosmos here. We have what are these? These are snapdragons, I believe. These are some snapdragons. I'm not sure if these are straw flowers or not. They might be a weed, but considering that they're all right here, I'm gonna say they're straw flowers for now. And if they're a weed, I guess we'll find out later. All the sunflowers are doing great. Okay, I'm gonna try and get out of here without stepping on something. Sunflowers are getting taller. And this plant, I still can't figure out what this is. If anybody knows, leave a comment down below, because it just looks like something, but I don't know that I planted anything there. So we'll see what that is. Okay, and then the bells of Ireland. I'm pretty certain that's what these are. I went slug hunting this morning. I got this guy, don't worry. We got a little one here, got a little one here, and a little one there. Those are the bells of Ireland from Baker Creek as well. So we'll see what those look like. All right, the most exciting thing about the garden that we have been enjoying so much are the strawberries. They are red. We've had, I don't know, maybe 20 strawberries so far. And if you have never had a homegrown strawberry, you're really missing out because they taste nothing like the grocery store strawberries, like nothing. Strawberries should be like room temperature or like outside temperature, not refrigerated, fresh from the garden. Oh, and the smell is just unreal. So let's look at the strawberries. Here they are. And there are so many red strawberries. I have this bird netting on here so that the birds don't get in here. But look at these. Look how perfect that is. They're perfect strawberries. I literally cannot believe it that we have so many this year. So we haven't picked them today. The boys and I will probably come out here and pick them. There's a really cool one in here. Let's open this up. Let me show you. Okay, check this strawberry over here. This is the weirdest looking strawberry. Look at that, it's huge. I don't know if it's like two that grew together, but it's just amazing. So, yeah, they're just everywhere and they're ripening up. So good, guys, so good. And this bird netting has worked fantastic. The birds have not been in here at all. I didn't spend a lot of time putting it up. Just have 4 little posts around and draped it on this side. Works perfect. And then it looks like we have some asparagus in here as well. Cooper loves to just eat this stuff. He'll just come out here and eat it. So good, fresh from the garden. We'll have asparagus and strawberries. We're gonna have hamburgers tonight, I think, too, so that will go well. I just have to show you one more. Look at that. Like, you cannot find strawberries like this at the grocery store. And the smell. The smell. I wish you could smell it. Do you like the way strawberries smell, Cooper?
Uh-huh.
My fingers smell a little bit like asparagus right now, too. No, I'll save them for us for dinner.
Okay.
See, I'm kind of that person who's like, nope. We pick the strawberries and we divide them because the boys would literally come out here and eat all of them, and I want some strawberries too. So the other day when the strawberries were ripe, there was one. It was going to be our very first one, and I told Carter, I was like, who do you think should be the first to get to eat the strawberry? He's like, you should. I'm like, really? He's like, well, yeah, you grew them. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're so sweet. So sweet. So I got the first strawberry. I did share a little teeny bit with everyone else, but lucky me. All right, this is kind of a new thing that we kind of did today. These rocks are from Oregon, like when we go to the beach, and I collected these, I don't know, years ago, and we had them in our old house, and they're really cool. I don't know, they might just look like normal rocks, but they're flat, and I just really love them. So I had them in our old house. I dug them up, and I thought we would just make some little circles. This is coral bells, so that will probably get much bigger. You might not even be able to see this once it gets real big. And then once we have some more cosmos or something, I'll put more. And when we go back, maybe I'll add another circle over here. And then look at this. I've had this teapot outside. I was thinking maybe a bird would make a nest in it, but it never did. So I just put some succulents in there and hung it in the garden, and I think it looks super cute. We have so many succulents. So many, so this is a good use. This is a dark green zucchini. It's okay. It's struggling, but it's growing slowly. The weather really has not been warm here at all in Washington. It's June. I saw someone post the other day and they're like, it's January. Like, it's seriously, yesterday it was freezing. I wanted to turn the heater on, and today it is so muggy and kind of warm. It's like we had a fan on today. So the weather is trying to change to get warmer, but yesterday we were literally freezing. I turned on the little heater in the schoolroom because I was so cold and I had a sweater on. Today I'm in a short sleeve shirt.
And shorts.
And shorts.
And
it's so weird. Okay, This flower here, I'm gonna go get the seed packet, but I love these things. I love these flowers. This one is just about done, but they're so bright. So this flower is called, and I want to show you because I probably will pronounce it incorrectly, but is it Gallardi? I don't know, but they're beautiful. I think I got these probably at like Walmart or something many years ago, and yeah, I love those flowers. That's what those are. And look, I cleaned my potting bench minus my gloves and scissors. Doesn't it look nice, Cooper?
Yes.
Yeah. So last week I had planted some things in the greenhouse, and a lot of them are popping up, so I'm very excited. They're doing really good in here since they're not getting pounded with rain, and it's warmer, obviously. So I'll show you what we have growing. So this is kind of our table growing area. These peppers, Cooper and I tried to transplant a few of them yesterday into bigger pots to see if it would make a difference, but like obviously some of them are just, they're just goners. I don't know what happened to them. But we have like 30 or so sunflowers. I think that's what I had counted before. The baby's breath popped up. The kale popped up. This is red Russian kale. I don't see the other kale yet. Then the cosmos and the marigolds, and I don't see anything else. I kind of poked at things, and the gold zucchini are going to pop up soon, because I was like, if those are going to pop up, I need to order some different seeds because they're not doing well. But yeah, so we like put a pepper in here. These are the shishito peppers, just to see if we put them in a bigger pot, maybe they would actually do something. I don't know. We'll see. I have another round of lettuce going and more of the rocket arugula. And then we transplanted some tomatoes into bigger pots. This is a Chadwick cherry. See, they're still very, very small. I'm still hopeful though that maybe they're just gonna shoot up and they're gonna do well. This is a black cherry. And then this is a green zebra. And this one here, guys, have you ever had it where your tomato from the store starts sprouting seeds inside? Well, it's a thing, and it happens. It happened. There were so many sprouts coming out of this tomato. We had, we're only grocery shopping so often, and I think we just kept it in the window too long, and it literally sprouted. So Jeremy poked a little hole and the little green leaf came out, and we thought, well, let's just put it in a pot and see what happens. So that's our tomato experiment. I don't know, weird stuff. This is our chamomile, still very, very itty bitty. I don't know like if it'll do better next year, but it's just so small. Like, what the heck? I don't understand. This is a lupin that I put in a bigger pot, and it's already growing significantly bigger. So that's cool. All right, I wanted to show you the garlic that I pulled up the other day and what it kind of looks like. But this is it, and it is starting to get bulbs. But that's pretty cool. I grew that. All I did with the garlic was I bought a big bag at Costco, the organic garlic. I pulled apart the cloves, and I just put one clove in each hole. And yeah, we're gonna have like hundreds of cloves because of those that we planted. So I think that's pretty neat. Something you can just get at the grocery store. You don't have to order specifically. I would get organic, because who knows the non-organic, what they've been sprayed with, and if they'll even grow. But kind of a fun thing to do. All right, the fruit trees, I'm not going to take you around to all of them, but I did spray the apple tree with neem oil, and I was doing some research, and apparently you're supposed to do it like when it gets its blossoms, after it flowers, and then every 2 weeks. So I did it about a week ago. I think I did it last Friday, so it hasn't been quite a week yet. But I sprayed it with neem oil, and I literally just put it in a spray bottle, diluted it. Like, I just have the concentrated, and they're still good. There's no bug damage. I don't know. I'm skeptical. I just don't think We had such bad luck last year. I just don't think they're gonna do real good. The cherries are still growing. You see those little cherries there? Ah, there they are. Okay, I'm gonna take you out to see the last thing here. Well, maybe I'll show you the grapes too. But these flowers, and it was so pretty earlier, but now that the clouds kind of came, it closed up, but it was so big and beautiful. All right, yeah, they have completely kind of closed up, but this one here, these are the anemone bulbs. This one here was completely open, and the center was incredible. So I'll see if I can get that another time. But we have another red one here, we have a purple one down here, a pink one there. I mean, they're just, oh my goodness, if you ever see those at Costco, I highly recommend getting them because you get 80 of them. I planted them all in this bed. I planted some in the backyard. I planted some in my garden, and there was a ton of them, and I never even watered them. And it was hot when I planted them. Somehow they still grew, so that's exciting. Okay, grapes, and they are still doing good. Still crazy big. And we have little grapes. So cute. Oh, I do have something sad. A sad update. So, the tree that I thought was an elderberry tree, I don't even know if it is now because I won't find out. I came out here the other day and I think a deer had a little party with my tree because all the berries are gone. Every single berry has been nibbled off, and they literally pulled the tree from the stake off. Look at this. They ate all the berries. They're gone. And I know it was a deer because you can see their hoof prints down here in the ground. So, that was a sad day when I determined that my tree, whatever it was, is now no longer. I mean, it will still live, and we just need to strap it up better probably, but that's a bummer that we won't get to try whatever that was. If it was elderberries, I hope that deer or whoever, I've seen lots of mama deers with their babies, like new babies. Hopefully they get some good vitamins and they stay healthy because they better go to something good. All right, I think that is all I have to update on today. I'm gonna try and edit this down so it's a little bit shorter, but that's the updates in the garden. Like I said, we're in Washington Zone 8B, and we're just waiting for summer because we're about to get a rainstorm right now. More rain. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.